Your level of impact and income will never exceed your level of personal development.
Welcome to the Bedros Keuilian Show.
I am 50 years old and I wish I knew these 7 life hacks when I was in my 20s and struggling to find purpose and direction in my life. Hey, my name is Bedros Keuilian. Welcome to the Bedros Keuilian Show. Today's episode is about that, finding purpose and direction in your life, especially if you're in your 20s and some of you in your 30s, because I get the messages all the time. How do I find purpose and direction in my life? And that is what this episode is about. But let me tell you a story, because I think we learn best from stories. I remember feeling like in my late teens, early 20s, even mid 20s, feeling like I was wasting my life. Like, I know there's more for me out there. I'm meant to do more, maybe have a legacy, leave my fingerprint on this planet, help a lot of people, inspire and impact lives. But I felt like I was wasting my life. I didn't have a path and I didn't feel purpose driven. And I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but when you don't feel like you have a path or direction towards purpose or fulfillment or some kind of like, what is the meaning of my life, you start feeling very anxious and you start feeling like time is going by and you're wasting it, right? And then you start feeling depressed and overwhelmed. And before you know it, you're kind of spiraling down through this, like, using alcohol, weed, any kind of distraction to avoid this gnawing of pain that you're feeling because you don't know where your path is. So if that's you, if you're like, fuck man, I could relate to that, this is your episode. So let's dive into it. These 7 hacks I wish I knew when I was in my 20s, and I'm going to give them to you right here and now. And these are non-negotiable, by the way. These are the things that work. This is scientifically, psychologically proven to give a man purpose, path, and meaning in his life. So without any further ado, let's get started. Thing number 1, you've got to develop your self-mastery. You've got to find your personal development path, right? Because here's the deal. Your level of impact and income will never exceed your level of personal development. That's just a fact. And so if you are not the type of person who is investing in self-development, personal development, self-mastery, healing through your shit, we've all gone through traumas. We've all gone through some level of abuse. We've all been let down by people. We've all had maybe parents that didn't quite show up the way they should have, or relationships that just went south and caught us by surprise, or someone maybe physically, mentally, sexually abused you, right? I've experienced all of that. And that ends up leaving scars on your life. And those scars create limiting beliefs. And those limiting beliefs stop you from really feeling a sense of fulfillment and purpose. Self-development, self-mastery, working with a therapist, courses, getting a mentor, healing, journaling, writing this stuff down and figuring out your shit is important. And if you can do that, if you could develop a higher level of self-mastery, and you can personally develop yourself where you now know how to set goals for yourself, you have a structured life, you have discipline, you've developed mental toughness, you've healed through your shit. Now you can have more income, impact, and influence on society. And as men, that is a big part of our fulfillment and purpose path, is income, impact, and influence. Thing number 2, you need to focus on your physical health as well, right? So the personal development side is awesome, healing through your shit and all that, but the physical health is also important, because a man judges another man by how he shows up, the very first impression, and how you feel and how you look. Your strength, your cardiovascular endurance, like your routine, how lean are you? Are you proud of the body that you're carrying? Do you feel a sense of confidence in the way you look, or are you embarrassed to take your shirt off? Are you one of those people that when you show up, people look at you and go, you know what? I can tell this guy's lazy. He doesn't follow a clean diet. He doesn't train regularly. He doesn't have a routine in his life, because his body shows it, right? Your body is a direct reflection of your mindset. And so if you're one of those people that really wants to have a high level of purpose, meaning, direction in your path, you have to do that by starting to create a routine that keeps you fit, strong, lean, athletic, cardiovascular endurance, right? And you have to eat right to be able to develop a body like that. By the way, all those things, as you are building your physical fitness, all those things are things that you would do to build a career in the future, because it takes focus, consistency, discipline. You've got to avoid the temptations of alcohol and junk food and staying awake late at night so that you can stick to your training program, your nutrition program, your meal prep, your macros. And that is what builds a 2.0 type of a man, right? Like right now you're at the 1.0 level where you're stressed, overwhelmed, don't have purpose and meaning. The 2.0 man is fit, is jacked, has cardiovascular endurance. He eats right. He sleeps to recover. And he goes out there and he lives a purpose-driven life. And so now we move on to number 3, which is your career and your professional development. Like this is a major life hack. I'm not talking about a job. A job is what you have maybe your first time out in the workforce, right? Maybe work at a local McDonald's or a car wash or a yogurt land or something. A career is something that you have when it is aligned with your passions in life. A career is something that you have that gives you a path up. Where up? Where exactly am I talking about when I say a path up? Room to grow, room to advance, room to be challenged, room to lead other people, room to make more money, right? If you are in a job right now and you're stuck in that job, making the same amount of money, doing the same things over and over again without a path up in terms of greater challenges, opportunities, a pay raise, your ability to lead more people, to take on more tasks, then you feel stuck and you feel like your life is being wasted again. So whether you work for someone and have a career or you work for yourself and you have a business, I have a career, I'm an entrepreneur. I have several 8 and 9 figure companies. I have teams that I lead. I have marketing campaigns that we run, sales organizations and systems and processes that we build. And I get to solve big problems every single day. And all of those problems that I get to solve help me have a sense of purpose and meaning in my life, right? And the people around me are doing things that are constantly challenging themselves. They're putting themselves in a position where they can move up in the category that they work in my companies. Doesn't matter if it's franchise support, if it's in the supplement company, TrueLean, if it's in Fuel Hunt, everyone has the opportunity to move up as long as they are delivering value and their personal P&L report. You've heard me say this before. If you have a career, by the way, if you work for someone else, your boss, the CEO, the founder of that company, can visualize a personal P&L report, profit and loss report above your head. They can see and they know if you are a valuable asset or you are someone that is not valuable and you're more of an expense for them, right? Like if something was to go wrong, there was another pandemic, an economic crash, you would be one of the first people they would cut. So you have to put yourself in a position where career advancement opportunities will be available. And that means you have to do the first 2 things we talked about: personally develop and physically develop, because that means you're going to be in the top tier of team members for that organization. And when an opportunity opens up to move up in that organization, in that career, you will get the nod. And if you are a founder, a business owner like I am, and you're running multiple companies or one company and you have teams who rely on you and systems and millions of dollars are being made and spent every month, well, guess what? Your team looks to you for direction. And so if you are not buttoned up, if you are not put together, if you are not purpose-driven, you don't have your fitness and your mental discipline squared away, your team is going to fire you by quitting and going and working for someone better. So understand that whether it's personal development, physical development, or step 3 here, professional and career development, like you've got to do something that is aligned with your passion, right? It's got to have an opportunity for constant growth and advancement and challenges. It's got to be something that gives you financial freedom. That's important. What's the point of a career or a starting a business if it doesn't give you the financial freedom that you're looking for? And if you don't have that financial freedom, now you feel like a cog in the wheel. You're always in debt. You're always trying to catch up. Now you're trying to create a side hustle and maybe you're driving for Uber or Lyft, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not probably something that's aligned with your life's purpose. Like you don't wake up one day and say, man, I just want to drive other people around in cities and drop them off at restaurants and at venues. If you're doing that because you're trying to make ends meet. So you better find a way to develop yourself into an asset in the organization that you're in so that you can have that career advancement, make more money, and have it be aligned with the things you're passionate about. Hack number 4. This one's really important: relational and social connections. Listen, part of having purpose and meaning in your life is having relational and social connections. You've got to have like-minded friends, right? You've got to have a network to belong to. You've got to be able to attract that right woman in your life. If you're looking for someone in your life and you're like, man, I'm really looking for someone to have a life partner, a spouse, a wife, a girlfriend. Notice I said you've got to attract and not go find. And the reason I say you've got to attract is because when you develop yourself, you do step 1, step 2, step 3, right? You become the 2.0 version of yourself. And when you become the 2.0 version of yourself, you attract a better spouse, a better girlfriend, a better life partner. And if you're out there looking for someone, trying to find them, but you haven't done the work to be able to make yourself an attractive person to magnetically bring that person into your life, you're better off not trying to search and find. Just invest in step 1, step 2, step 3. And if you could do those things, you will attract the right person in your life. But you've also got to have those friends, right? If you're one of those people that's like, hey, my best friend is someone who I only see like once a year because I don't make time and I don't have many other friends. I don't have work friends. I don't go do jujitsu. I don't go to the gym. I don't do anything. It's just you and your girl. That's cool. That's cool. But it's pretty rare that you found someone who's like a twin flame where you're like, man, she's like my girlfriend, my best friend, my confidant, my workout buddy. Like we do everything together, right? That's out there. Your twin flame is out there. I can tell you that. But for most of you, you've got to develop yourself into your next best version of yourself to be able to attract that soulmate or twin flame. And so if you can develop relational and social connections, you're not going to be alone in those hard times of life. And remember, life comes to us with seasons. There's winning seasons and there's losing seasons. And you are guaranteed to have losing seasons in your life. And when those seasons are there, you don't want to be alone and without company and without counsel and without someone that you can lean on and ask questions to and maybe just share what's going on in your life, right? And so that's the beauty of having like-minded friends. That's the beauty of attracting someone who is going to be a great life partner for you, and also having strong family bonds. Look, if you come from a chaotic, toxic family, I get it. Eliminate that relationship or edit that relationship where you don't spend a lot of time with them. But if you come from a family where like you're tight, you're bonded, there's great family traditions, lots of laughter, like don't just fade away out of their life. Continue that family bond, continue that family strength. Move it along to the next generation. It's your responsibility. That's a beautiful thing. It's such a rare thing. And if you have it, encourage it, nurture it, water it, grow it, right? It's a beautiful thing. And by the way, listen, since we're talking about connections, like-minded people, building an awesome network, right? Relational and social connections, you ought to be coming out to Bedros Keuilian Live, PK Live, May 31st in Anaheim, California at the Grove Theater, right? I'm spending the entire day, myself and 14 other presenters that I'm bringing on stage, talking about all things money, how to make money, how to run businesses, how to grow your companies, how to automate, systematize, and become a better leader, how to have more meaning and purpose in your life, and how to develop higher levels of self-mastery. So I hope I get to see you at BK Live, May 31st. Thing number 5, hack number 5, focus on your spiritual growth. Listen, if you want purpose, you want meaning, you want direction in your life, you've got to focus on some level of spiritual growth. Now, I don't know if it's, faith and religion by way of like the traditional Christianity, Catholicism, Buddhism, right? Whatever it is. Or it might be universal consciousness, or it might be some kind of a, higher collective consciousness, higher connection to a God. But you've got to have some kind of faith and spiritual growth. Because if you don't, then what ends up happening is you lose hope. When we have faith, we also have hope. And remember, I said life comes to us with these moments that sometimes feel like months and years of phases and seasons where they're losing seasons, right? Like I want you to have winning seasons in your life, bro. I want you to have like win after win after win. But the reality is parents will get sick, breakups and divorces happen, accidents and disease happen, financial setbacks happen, and these are all of how life works, right? That doesn't make you cursed, by the way. I had one coaching client many years ago say, man, I think I'm cursed. I go, why? He goes, a lot of these bad things happened to me. And he was 44 years old at the time when he was coaching with me for his business. And I said, well, why don't you list off a few of the bad things that have happened to you over the last decade or 2 decades? And he did. And guess what? I'm like, dude, those are all things that have happened to me. Those are all things that have happened to any human that is trying to live a life of purpose, create a business, take risks, get after it in life. Like, you certainly weren't trying to live a safe life. A safe life is a boring life. And so if you're trying to live a life that has purpose and meaning and accomplishments, and you're taking risks and you're trying to do things that others haven't done, yeah, you're going to have setbacks. It's going to feel like you've been cursed. It's going to feel like it's failure after failure. But if you look at those failures as temporary defeats, you can get back up and attack those goals again, right? And so it's really important to have a sense of faith, because faith gives us hope. In the absence of faith, we don't have hope. And we go, well, things aren't working for me. This means that I'm cursed, and I guess I'm just going to stay in this horrible place in life. And so develop some kind of faith and spiritual growth. And if that means walking into a church for a few weekends and seeing if that church is right for you, so be it. If that means reading a book on spirituality and diving into that and, meditating, prayer, going out into nature, connecting with Mother Earth, all of those give you a higher level of connection to something beyond yourself. And again, that gives us hope in times of those dark seasons that are inevitable to come. Hey guys, quick interruption to the Bedros Keuilian Show. I took some time to go to the local juice stores here in town, and I bought all these different ginger, turmeric, and wellness shots. Now, they range anywhere from $3.69 all the way to $4.05. And to be honest with you, they all suck. Why? Because they do not have anywhere near the wonderful ingredients of the Keuilian Wellness Shot. First of all, to build your immune system and keep your immune system strong, Keuilian Wellness Shot is packed with vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc. And also to help you fight off inflammation, it is packed with turmeric, ginger, and black pepper. And to keep you hydrated, Keuilian Wellness Shots have sodium, potassium, and magnesium. This is the ultimate morning supplement. Just take one packet, pour it in 4 ounces of water, and shoot it, and you're good to go. Best of all, $1.69 per packet instead of twice the price of those other inferior ones. I want you to get 50% off your first 30-day supply. So go to Keuilian.com, use my name, Bedros, and you can get 50% off plus free shipping, a 30-day money-back guarantee, and $1 gets donated to Shriners Children's Hospital. Best of all, if you like the Keuilian Wellness Shots, and I know you will, like thousands of other people who are part of the Keuilian tribe, every month we'll send you a new supply at 20% off, free shipping. So go to Keuilian.com, use my name, Bedros, and get your 50% discount code before it goes away. Back to the show. Life hack number 6, seek out adventure, guys. So many of you have developed your lives into boring states of unhappiness. I was guilty of this. Like, I was working as a busboy at Disneyland, a bouncer at a bar, at a gay bar, a personal trainer who was unsuccessful at the time because I didn't know how to sell and market myself in that gym. So I only had like 4 personal training clients. And my life was just those 3 jobs, and then like getting a workout in, but wasn't really focused on my diet because I was too busy like emotionally eating and stress eating. And I realized that I had no adventure in my life. Like, there was nothing new to look forward to every day. And that doesn't mean every single day has to be an adventure, but my God, what if you can build adventure into your life? Like, what if you traveled? And I think about the version of myself in my early 20s. I didn't have a lot of money. But could I have traveled from Anaheim to Santa Monica and stayed at a cheap hotel or slept on the beach overnight and then hung around Santa Monica? Sure. And had some fun experiences? Yeah, it's like a 40-mile drive. I could have done that, right? So when I say take adventures and travel, that doesn't mean you have to go to Europe. If you've got the means, you've got the capability, go for it. Take some adventures. But what if you can go to a different state? What if you can go to a different place? What if you can go and meet different types of people? Like this country, our beautiful country in the United States alone, we are so broad in the types of people that exist, the cultures, the ethnicities, the accents, right? My God, imagine meeting all those people. So many great adventures that you could have. So explore, have adventures, travel, take on new challenges. Like if you're not challenging yourself, then you're not growing. And you have to be able to step out of that box of comfort, right? We all kind of naturally develop this comfort zone, and it's safe and it's predictable. And soon it becomes routine, and then it becomes boring, and then it gives us this sense of depression, and then we feel like our life is just being wasted. You see how like it went from like, hey, I'm comfortable and I have routine, to now it's wasting my life and not having purpose. And so while I do want you to have routine and structure in your life and all the things that matter, right? In your personal development, in your fitness and nutrition, in your sleep and recovery, in your career and work development, in your social circles, in your faith and spiritual growth, I also want you to have adventure. I want you to go and explore. I want you to go challenge yourself. You know, back in 2010, I started doing those challenges. My first challenge was running a marathon. I hired a running coach because I'd never run before. And I said, hey, I want to train for and run a marathon within the next 6 weeks. And she was like, you're crazy. You're out of your mind. I'm like, nope, I'm not. I want to run a marathon. Like I want to. So those 6 weeks were so exciting for me, because every night I was lacing up my shoelaces and going out there and doing something new. You know, at first I was running 1 or 2 miles, and then I was running 3, 4, 5 miles. And then by the time, week 4 came, I was like running 7, 8, 9 miles. Week 5, I'm running 12, 13 miles, right? And then at the end of week 6, I ran the San Diego Rock and Roll Marathon, 26.2 miles. And I was like, holy shit, this is freaking rad. Since that 6-week challenge, by the way, if you guys want to do a marathon, if you guys want to run a marathon, you could either sign up for a marathon, or you could just track out 26.2 miles in your community. I've got the entire marathon challenge training, nutrition guide, motivational videos for you. Absolutely free, cost you nothing. Just go to bedroskeuilian.com/challenge, or we'll leave it in the show notes in the description box of YouTube and the podcast platforms, bedroskeuilian.com/challenge, and you could get the entire training program and run a marathon. Like, how cool is that? If you've never run before and you were like me, you're like, I'm not designed to run. I'm designed to lift weights. I've never run. I hate running. Running hurts. Running bothers me. That was me. And I've said that about so many things, right? I was afraid of heights. So I did a 6-week challenge on rock climbing. I didn't feel like I was a good dancer. And so I did a 6-week challenge, salsa dancing, guitar lessons, chess, jujitsu, MMA, and the challenges just go on and on and on and on. Improv, right? Because I want my life to be an adventure. It can get pretty boring pretty quick. And in the process of having those adventures, when I seek out adventures, I got to meet a lot of cool people, have a lot of cool experiences. A lot of those things stuck. I love jujitsu. I love surfing. I still go on big, long hikes now. Like, I used to not hike because I was like, man, I'm not designed to hike. I got flat feet. I don't run. I don't do long distance. Like, now I can cover long distance like barefoot. Like yesterday at the beach, I went 3 miles in flip-flops and bare feet, and like, it was great. Bro, and I'm 230 pounds. I'm 6 foot, 230 pounds. And I can move some distance, man. Once a year, I do my Suck Fest where I hike through the night and I get 35, 40 miles in, right? From sundown to sun up. And that's because, like 2010, so however many years ago, 13, 14, 15 years ago, I decided that I was going to become a runner. That doesn't mean I go out and run all the time right now, but I have the capacity to, because I've broken through that seal. And when you start seeking out adventures, you start breaking out of your comfort zone and you start breaking the seal in these areas of your life that you once felt where you were limited in, right? And that's the beautiful thing about it. And finally, life hack number 7, service and contribution to others. Like, if you want a purpose-driven life, you want to have some meaning, you want to be interesting, go serve others, because you will see different lives. And you could serve others in many ways, man. You can volunteer at a soup kitchen. You can volunteer at a live event. You can volunteer at a concert in your community. Or maybe you have skills that you've developed. You're great at basketball, at ping pong, at wrestling, at jujitsu. Go find a group of kids to teach you this to, mentor them, help them. Or maybe you're good at traffic buying and writing sales copy. Create a YouTube channel like this and start putting out free content to help others, right? And who knows, it might become another way of monetizing and creating income for you. But when you're mentoring and helping others and volunteering and serving, that is how a man finds happiness. A man never is looking for direct happiness. If you're looking for happiness in your life, you're like, I just want to be happy. I got bad news for you. Happiness is an inside job, especially for men. And that inside job is service to others. We are most happiest when we are kind and generous and helping, supporting, mentoring, serving others. Basically, we're happiest when we are helping others get happy. And so if you could go out there and contribute and serve others and feel like a productive member of society instead of, man, I'm just sitting here in my room, in my apartment, in my house, rotting. Or I had a guy reach out to me. He does $35 million a year in his solar business. This happened just 2 days ago. He goes, dude, I do $35 million a year. My take home is $6 million. I've been following you for years, read your book, Man Up, 3 times. And I don't have any sense of purpose or meaning in my life. So it's not just money. Like he goes, I want to go out there and start coaching and mentoring others. Do you think someone like me can do that? I'm like, bro, you've got such great life and business experience. Surely you can create a YouTube channel, a podcast, or go find some young entrepreneurs at a high school or junior high school, a local community college, and start mentoring them. He's like, dude, I would love that, right? And so understand that in the absence of serving others, you begin to feel like you're wasting your life, even if you're making $35 million a year in your company, taking home $6 million like this guy was. Trust me, I've been there. The beginning stages of Fit Body Bootcamp, I started Fit Body Bootcamp in 2010. We franchised in 2012. 2013, 14, 15 were some of our best years, obviously like in the beginning phases, right? All of a sudden we have 100, 200 locations. Now we've got hundreds of locations worldwide. But back then, all of a sudden I found all this new money. Yet I was sad and depressed. If you read my book, Man Up, you know that's when I had my major anxiety attack. And I started working with Kevin, my therapist, and realized that I'm lacking a good amount of meaning and purpose in my life. I was just this like one-track minded machine developing a business. And that is fucking awesome to do because business creates money and money gives me financial freedom and access and opportunities and experiences. But because I was so deep in the weeds and I didn't know how to lead people, I didn't know how to hire people, I didn't know how to delegate to people, I was like, man, is this all I am? Just a workhorse making money, but don't have the time to go out and have the experiences and have the meaningful things and serve others? Like today I get to do that, right? Every Christmas we buy tens of thousands of dollars of Toys for Tots. I donate millions of dollars to Shriners Children's Hospital. And I get to help out like when schools call or recently went to a juvenile hall and spoke to these young kids who have grown up in violence and crime and want to change their path in life when they get out of juvenile hall. Like that feels good to be able to serve and give back to others. And you're probably wondering, well, I've got nothing to give back. I got nothing to serve with. Great, then do the other 6 things that I talked about before this so that you have life experience, business experience, wisdom to be able to share and give back and mentor. You get what I'm saying, right? And if you do these 7 things now, as a teenager, in your 20s, in your 30s, and some of you in your 40s and beyond, I'm telling you, your life's purpose, path, and direction magically opens up. All of a sudden, you have no anxiety, no depression, and you don't have to take the pharmaceutical drugs that they're trying to push on you because you think you're dealing with some kind of chemical issue. You don't have a chemical issue. Maybe like half of 1% of people out there who are dealing with depression and anxiety have some kind of a chemical issue. The rest of you just have a lack of purpose and meaning, direction and path. And if you go out there and work on yourself, work on making your money, become an interesting person, have adventure, serve others, find your faith, know that there's hope on the other side of a dark season, you will live a life that people will be like massively interested to know more about you. And that is how we build income, have influence, and impact the lives of others. Guys, if you got a lot of value from this episode, I hope that you will give me a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe on YouTube. On the podcast platforms, please give us a 5-star review. It would mean a lot to me so that we can get this message in the front of the hearts and minds of more men that we're trying to serve and help. And of course, remember this, that average is the enemy. Success is your responsibility, and change can take place in an instant if you are willing to flip the switch. I'll see you next time.